saw Trump's charisma and how he was really effectively winning over the crowd, knocking off his competitors in this sort of, you described as like schoolyard bully tactics, but very effective. But you also kind of pegged Hillary's anti-charisma. So talk about that part as well.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but what I remember seeing in her is that she thought that she could ride on the woman card and just skate that into election. And I remember a couple of things that she was doing that were just Donald Trump had crooked Hillary. He had these very catchy labels that he was throwing onto people, and he was testing these out. I didn't spot this first. Scott Adams saw it. He saw that he was sort of A/B testing insults and seeing how crowds reacted, much like a stand-up comic would. So I saw him doing that, and she then copied him so poorly. She called him at one point presumptuous Donald, which is the least effective insult. And I saw her just continually miss the mark on the things that were, she tried to label herself, I remember, an outsider, which was just so, it was something that was so difficult to believe for someone who had literally lived in the White House for 8 years, to label herself an outsider. And so the role that she tried to play, the role that she tried to portray him as, were just so unbelievable that I think she took what should have been a sure thing for her and shot herself in the foot and lost the election.
Yeah, I think she also was kind of to the outsider point, like not creating her own strengths or reasons to vote for her. She went very much on the I'm not Trump, because I remember at one point you pulled up her website. You said, look at this website.
Yeah. And
it said love Trump's hate over and over and over and over. And you said 1/3 of this website is Trump's name. Yeah. Like, I get that she thinks this is clever, but it is, you go to her site and think of him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I think she thought if she could just position herself as not him, that would be enough. And I remember at the time you saying she wasn't doing enough to say why she was good. She wasn't talking about how 8 years in the White House had equipped her to be a good president. She was just talking about how she wasn't Donald Trump, and it just wasn't enough to get people excited to show up and vote for her.
You're actually seeing shades of that now in the California recall election with Gavin Newsom, where everything is up there that's like, don't let Republicans win. Not them, not them. It's nothing like, here's my thing. It's just like, not them, not them.
Listen, we understand that you really don't like me and I look like a vampire. But I promise you the other ones are way worse, is effectively the pitch there.
And to your anti-charisma Hillary point, the thing that stuck with me, and I still have nightmares of it, is when she was in the debate and said, he does trumped-up trickle-down economics. It was like her and two staffers thought it was clever, and nobody else in the world thought it was clever. But you made a good point in the video, because you said there are arguments for insiders. You could say, I have more experience. I was there when Osama bin Laden was killed. Like, you could say all these things, but she didn't. She fought the battles on his turf, and that was the ultimate mistake.
Yeah, she's like, I'm an outsider because I'm a woman. So vote for me.
That's quite literally what she argued.
Yeah, that was her pitch. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Did you do one for Biden versus Trump this time around?
We did. I mean, I got two. I got Biden and I got Trump. That doesn't make me especially good at this, but I watched the debate and I waited till after the debate to do it, and I thought that Joe Biden handled himself competently. The worst thing that he could have done was look dead. I thought that was his biggest weakness.
I thought he failed on that front. He looks dead.
I thought he looked cogent and together more than I'd anticipated that he would. And I thought that was his biggest hole. And that was, after seeing that, I said, okay, I think, Trump is behind here. Biden kind of has to lose this in the way that Hillary lost this. But you made a great point that I'd forgotten to mention that I just want to underscore, is that Donald Trump throughout that entire run dictated the terms that he would compete on. He made this election about who is the most outsider. And Hillary implicitly bought into that framing, which is may the best outsider win, which is like, you're going to lose if you play this game. Play the game of like, made the most competent person, the person with the fewest bankruptcies, the person with, the best experience in this, or the smartest. And she instead tried to be, I think, clever without really understanding why Trump's insults were working. She just copied the form as best she saw it. But yeah, no, I did get Biden this time, and we'll see. I think next go around, hopefully I can go 3 for 3.
Well, actually, let me ask. That's one I wanted to ask you about. Is it's either. I think if Biden is able at all to run for president again, I think they will put him up
Prop
there.
Him up.
Yeah, as the
Wheel him
Democratic nominee again. That's my personal prediction. But there's a decent chance, just given the actuarial tables, that the Democrats are going to need a new nominee, Kamala Harris, obviously the vice president. She did very poorly ultimately in the Democratic primary. Right now, the polls say, people don't really particularly love her as vice president. That's a little bit of an understatement. Have you had a chance to kind of look at her, get any sense of how people respond to her public presence?
I've not followed her closely. So I don't have a strong opinion on her as of yet, and I don't want to blemish my record by by making a prediction that is this poorly founded. So I'm not certain.
That's fair enough. So this is one of the things I wanted to do with you guys. By the way, if you feel the same way about any of these figures, don't be ashamed to just be like, I don't know that one well enough to answer. But for both of you, I want to go through this and I want to get both of your opinions. I'm going to name somebody and you tell me what exactly is their charm, what's their charisma, what's their appeal. Because one of the things that I never used to think of, but you opened my eyes to, is that yeah, there are different kinds of charm and appeal. And like some people make, like, I think Noam Chomsky makes monotone sound good, but he's the only person on the planet who does that. So there's got to be something there. So let's start with an easy one. Obama.
Oh, boy. He was one of the greatest speakers that I've seen. I did a video on his, I think it was 2004-ish, when he gave a speech as a senator to the DNC. And okay, so many things. His tone, his pacing, he is so approachable in his demeanor. He has very few filler words, though he does have the that goes on, but it draws you into the story as opposed to making you think that he doesn't know what he's saying. When I mention tone, specifically what I mean is that he is so comfortable controlling the pace of an interaction. As you can hear, I tend to rush sometimes, and it can make my stories feel like you don't need to lean into them. But when Obama is talking, he baits you to fall deeper into his tone, and that simple act of following how quickly or slowly rather, he often speaks, makes him mesmerizing to listen to. I remember listening to him speak, and he also, just from a political perspective, managed to frame positively both sides of what has become this vicious divide where Democrats see these dumb hick Republicans and Republicans see these elitist Democrats in cities. And he found a framing for each of those sides in that particular speech that was so flattering to both of them. And when you hear your side being described well by this guy, you go, I like this guy. And so when he says something else about the other side, you go, well, I kind of want to believe what he says because he's so kind to me. So there was a ton with him that was really, really good.
What do you think, Ben?
I have not done a breakdown on Barack Obama. I think people are always surprised at how long those things take. It's actually not just a half-hour video that I watch and then go, oh, I know everything about this guy. It's
I'm sure.
about a week of deep study, and so I haven't done that for Barack Obama.
Talk a little.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.